This is Ulanzi's D100H, or simply the Dial, an affordable video editing controller that won't cost you an arm and a leg. And it's part of Ulanzi's U Studio, like the dock or deck, whatever. Actually has a USB hub, charging ports, and even an SD card reader. And you can control your smart home and some of Ulanzi's lights from it, and quite literally at a fraction of the competitor's price. Unfortunately, at least for Ulanzi, this won't be one of those show-to productions, as I actually have some experience, starting way back with Betacams, as well as more modern video editing keyboards and other paraphernalia. I even reviewed the Shuttle Pro, which you can buy today, and was released over 2 decades ago. Can't find it, but I can still easily recommend it. Full review in the description. Affiliate links too. Click them, use them, as the Ukrainian economy is flatter than my channel growth. Hi, name's Trained, and I never know when to introduce myself, especially now with the dwindling attention spans. Alas, less yapping and more reviewing. Let's start with the size. And these aren't just props, but common everyday items that will give you a practical reference and a sense of scale. Pretty much everything but the aluminum dial is made out of matte black plastic, but it looks and feels like the good kind. With long-term use, I'll give you an update if I don't sell it. It has decent heft and feels very sturdy when used, like actually stays in place, unlike the many portable fans that I have previously reviewed, or so many other gadgets that just slap on some rubberized feet and call it a day. Yet somehow they still get good reviews and high rankings. Thankfully, the sticky putty I reviewed earlier solved nearly all of these stability issues. So if you have a strong hand and these 4 little bits are not enough, get some of that adhesive putty. It's like malleable duct tape. I use it to fix all the things, like this light fixture. There are 7 user configurable buttons besides the dial, which you can press. That technically makes it also a button, and with the combined action plugin, all of the buttons can make use of the dial, but more on that later on. Let's first focus on the physical buttons themselves. You can both feel and hear the actuations. And they're pretty big and easy to distinguish, so it's easy to work without ever having to look at them. As for ergonomics, this thing won't be showing up in many Instagram desk setups if you're actually using it. Well, I guess people don't really show their real desk setups anyways, so it might. You'll probably want to angle it so the dial is easy to reach while still being able to press all the buttons without constantly repositioning your hand. I do wish they at least sold a dedicated wrist rest for it separately, because using my keyboard's wrist rest is awkward at best. Actually, the SteelSeries wrist rest I already have is almost perfect, but there's 2 problems. It's too goddamn big and too damn expensive. I got it secondhand from local classifieds, because the MSRP is like half of what I paid for the dial. I did a few wrist rest reviews before, so I might nerd out and order a bunch of cheap ones on AliExpresss to see if anything makes a perfect fit. So if you want that, throw a couple of dollars my way. Help a brother out while saving the environment, so you and others don't have to buy 2, 3, 5 to find the one. The dial by itself doesn't have any sound or feel, but it has a toggable haptic motor that provides both audible and tactile feedback. Finally, we're ready to connect. And that's where I got my first big surprise. In the promotional, description, they mentioned Bluetooth. Oh, that's a nice feature to have. Call me old-fashioned, I like my headphones with cables, my mouse and keyboard too. Nope, apparently it only works via Bluetooth. Just why, Ulanzi, why? You already have the port, it's right here, on the back. It's even more stupid than with the removal of headphone jacks. At least those guys make your profit selling AirPods and dongles. Well, you do recommend buying Ugreen specifically, 5.0 or higher. Are you connected? Still, it doesn't make any sense. So after needlessly waiting a few days and overpaying to buy a dongle locally, I finally managed to get it connected. Guessing which side of the USB was the hard part. No drivers were required and the device was instantly discoverable. Only while recording this, I realized that I completely forgot that the battery percentage is visible in the Windows Bluetooth menu. Beyond the obvious questions of reliability and long-term longevity, I mean just like you and I, the battery will inevitably pass. The battery life is the most pressing issue. Ulanzi claims up to 2 months of standby time, which is not something I can realistically test. What I can test, however, is their claim of roughly 2.5 hours of continuous scrolling. So after charging it fully, I started scrolling and scrolling and scrolling some more. Every hour I took a short break and checked the Ulanzi app to see whenever the battery indicator has moved at all. This tedious process also revealed that the small indent on the dial is mostly cosmetic. It's simply too shallow to use reliably and certainly not by feel alone. If usability has been the priority, they would have included a few deeper ones, so you can begin turning the dial from any position. Also, during this endurance testing, I noticed that very long turns occasionally produce some slightly concerning noises. Not gonna lie, I thought I might break the thing before even finishing the review. But alas, it survived, and switching to smaller turns brought it back to normal. But I still continued mixing the scrolling styles. For the entire test, I kept the haptic vibrations enabled as well, since most manufacturer battery claims tend to assume the best case scenarios. So to Ulanzi's credit, the device actually exceeded the 2.5 hours claim. Even after 3 hours and a bit of continuous use, non-stop scrolling, the vibrations felt just as strong and the battery indicator didn't change. And now I realized I made a small but important mistake. I completely forgot about the Windows Bluetooth menu, which might have shown the battery percentage this entire time. But there's no way I'm repeating all of that. My arm endured enough scientific testing for one review. Instead, let's see how it charges after the 3 hours of constant abuse. It doesn't need a fancy charger either. The spec only calls for 5 volts at 2 amps. And right off the bat, we can see it's not even drawing that much. Just 10 minutes in, the charging current had already dropped significantly, which usually means the battery is getting close to full. That's actually intentional. On many devices, charging slows down near the end to help protect the battery. If you want to get more life out of your battery-powered devices, try to keep them between about 20 and 80% rather than constantly charging to 100 or draining them completely. All in all, I have a feeling there might be a typo somewhere, and they meant to promise 25 hours, not 2.5. That would make a lot more sense. Almost forgot. There's an on and off toggle on the back near the Type-C port, which is great for traveling. And speaking of traveling, just like those multi-device keyboards, it too can remember up to 3 devices at a time and lets you quick swap without having to go through the pairing process. But unlike Logitech, Ulanzi has some weird idea of convenience, putting the switching button on the bottom. Why not place it here? At long last, we are ready to get into the meat and potatoes. I first wanted to deal with the hand we are dealt, the hardware, as it won't be changing, unlike the software. The things that are undercooked for me now might have been long fixed by the time you're getting it. Now, if you're comfortable around the kitchen, you don't even have to wait. If you know how to use your spatulas, JavaScript, CSS, and HTML, Ulanzi provides an SDK over at the GitHub that gives you access to the chef's table, suggest improvements, submit code, or generally help season the project to taste. As for the dial, I'm not entirely sure what's simmering under the saucepan, but it did get some Einstein rather worked up. No pun intended, that's like their actual Reddit username. Pointing out that if you plug into it directly, you can gain root access and even run Doom. The horror! Personally, I'm not going to lose sleep over the device that you own, have physical access to, that gives you root access. If anything, this should be applauded, as it might save it from becoming yet another expensive paperweight once the company moves on or disappears. Something that happened to plenty of perfectly good gadgets. But hey, I'm no lead hacker, so take all that with a grain of salt. So after you download and install, available languages by the way, and if you already have the dock, you'll have to switch each time to the device you want to manage. here's where all the magic happens. You start off with a single profile, which will be used when no other profile is selected. You can make as many profiles as you like and associate them with the apps you're going to use. Afterwards, each time you open or switch to the program, the associated profile will be launched automatically. And yes, the annoying pop-up can be turned off. While Ulanzi did pre-make some profiles, if your favorite app is not there, don't worry. All of them are just keyboard shortcuts, and many of them are honestly only good to have a general grasp on how to configure the dial. So whatever the application, as long as you can launch it and it has keyboard shortcuts, the dial will work. Heck, I got it connected to Genshin Impact and still probably had better performance than most people I meet in co-op. Actually, this was way more harder than connecting to any actual video, color, or audio editing software, because one simply cannot use an unauthorized input controller, and I had to make a virtual Xbox controller. Well, that's not what the video is about, but point stands. If you can read, you can easily beat anything in Genshin. Connect the dial. As I mentioned, almost everything is done via keyboard shortcuts. So this will be your bread and butter. So for example, when video editing, turning the dial, you go frame by frame. Pressing and holding a button and turning the dial, you trigger secondary functions. For example, going faster or zooming in and out. If you want to do something more complex, you will have to rely on the plugins, which are right now severely limited, both in number of the applications supported and what they can do. Some plugins require the legit version of the software, so if you're sailing the high seas, you might experience turbulent waters. And don't rush and download everything. Many of them are actually designed for the dock. Ulanzi, filter one. They shouldn't be even visible if I can't use them, because if I manually filter them out, I won't see them for the dock, and it's just a cluster dock. You can do almost anything with auto hotkey, but that would require effort, knowledge, and time. The easiest and best solution would be to give us a way to record mouse movements. Another useful thing, which Taro would totally be on board with, more buttons. Since we can't change the hardware, why not let us assign modifier keys to have layers within the profiles, like Razer has with their Hypershift. Say I press and hold the button on my mouse, then we get a new layout, another button, a new layout. The more you can do, the faster the workflow becomes. And being in Ukraine, where blackouts occasionally turn time management into competitive sport, time is even more of a luxury. Ironically, that's also what stretched this review across several weeks, but it gave me plenty of time to actually use the dial and get acquainted with it. That said, I still haven't found a true substitute for the convenience of JKL on a regular keyboard. I tried putting it on the top 3 keys as short presses, with a long press doing a ripple trim. But in the heat of things, you just make far too many mistakes that way for it to be practical. Watching others edit, like Nathan Lundstrom. Sorry if I butchered that. I get the impression that most will rely on it for precise cuts. As I mentioned in the comment under one of their videos, if Ulanzi ever included a spring-loaded shuttle wheel, it would be the perfect kit. And that's why I can easily recommend the Shuttle Pro even literally decades later. The more off-center, the faster it goes, so you can adjust it real time, going faster, slower, and releasing it instantly stops. Which reminds me, there's no way right now to adjust the sensitivity. This will be a very useful and easy to implement feature. So in conclusion, for very little money, you're getting quite a bit of kit, which will be useful for everyone, from beginner to pro. Hopefully more people start using it, and we get more user-submitted plugins. Ulanzi has been, slowly but steadily, expanding their portfolio, and I pray we get a pro version with a shuttle wheel. That will make it a no-brainer. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and buy using my affiliate links.